So each quarter and after each goal, not behind, the game is restarted with a centre bounce from the official. Now there's also a situation where around the corner here, if the ball goes out of play, it will be thrown in by an official from the sideline, and the rules are identical. So we're going to cover here the centre bounce and action 10, which is the throw-in. So action chart 10, out of bounds, go to bounce and throw-in chart. So the bounce and throw-in chart is an extremely simple chart. There are only 6 options. This is the throw-in and bounce chart here. The 3 ones in red and the 3 ones in black. You use the blue and the red dice in this if necessary. This is the only time, if you're not going to use the red dice for a challenge, that you should need the red dice. So the centre bounce is a neutral bounce, so nobody has possession. You just roll it and you take the number, and if it has a red circle, it means that you're going to need the red dice. So effectively, if you roll a 4, 5 or 6, then the centre bounce would go to the trailing team, and if they're tied, it goes to the home team, or 5 and 6 will go to the home team in the zone that they are in. If you roll a 1, 2 or a 3, then you have a rook, and these are where your rook players come in. If I just slide this chart back, this thing back here, each player has got a rook rating, and it doesn't matter where on the field it is. If you're in the forward, defensive or mid zone, you take the highest rook player, and normally it's one with an R on. So he's got a 3. You look at the other team's highest rook, and it doesn't matter where he is, he doesn't have to be in midfield, and that is what he's challenging again. If it's 3, then it's tied and it will be the home team. If it's a 4, then the away team wins, and you can leave it at that, or you can use the red dice, roll the challenge, and you've got the 1 to 4, 1 to 5, dependent on whether there's only 1 or 2 difference. So if you want to use the advanced challenge, then there is a video earlier on the advanced challenge, or you can just say he's got better than him, he gets the win, and just play like that. But that's the only time you need the red dice, if it's a 1 to a 3. Now if it's a 1, this chart specifically says advance to the next zone. So if it's a centre bounce and you rolled a 1 and you win, you're going into the forward 50 zone, and if you're in the forward 50 zone, you get a kick, and that green tick there tells you that you have to roll the 2 red dice to see who takes the kick. In this case 49. So if Sydney would have won, you look on here, 49 would be Samuel Wicks, because he's 45 to 52. So if you're in the offensive zone and you win, because it's come from an out of bounds, then you're in the forward 50, so it's a kick. If you're in your defensive zone and you roll a 1, you'll move to the midfield, so you don't kick there, you just play on and get the next action. If you're in the defensive zone and you lose, then the opposition are in their forward zone and they would get a kick at goal, and you'd follow the kicking instructions to see whether they scored or got behind or nothing happened. So that is the centre bounds and action 10, out of bounds.